Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions, episode 123. We head up the Parasword, one of the major climbs of this and any tour. It's the first of three back-to-back climbs today in difficult circumstances for that part. But with 60k to go, we just completed getting water. It might just about get us to the end on this one. But you can see the top teams are already starting to take control and put the field under pressure. At a 77, we are starting to drift back a little bit, and we've still got 10k to go just on this climb, which means the drift rate is a little too quick. We're going to have to put a little bit more foot down. We'll speed it up to about an 80 and see how well that is holding us a lot better for now. Tony is the furthest back. We'll push him a little bit harder to about an 82. So Parasword, 13.5k, 6.8%. The others, even tougher. We're looking at just shy of 9% average gradient for the other two climbs each. And it's a tough day. It's going to be a really tough day. Draw is okay. It's average. It's what was expected today. I think we have a -1 compared to the net expected. Samuels, though, -3 for him. So he's looking pretty weak, and actually already with 6.5k to go, he's looking like he's not going to make it over this first climb. O'Hara might not make it over this first climb. Everybody's feeling it, but I would think that Arab and co, like, we should be okay. 63 is all that's left. So the back of this peloton is not too much further behind us. Like Jasper Phillipson is last wheel. This group looks like they're about to regain contact, but he sits up and immediately loses out. He gets the relief of, oh, we made it, and then sits up, and then, yeah, again. Oh, they just lost a lot of ground that time. Yeah, I'm not sure those 26 are going to get back up here. But none of my riders are too far down, except for Mighty Samuels, who's about to be not so mighty. And Mohira. That was pretty expected. Did not expect Benuna to also be dropping out, but he is definitely not going to make it. There's still more than 2k to go. So we've lost another 12 riders from the 66 we were at. 2 more going out the back. It's down to 53. All my guys, this is enough tempo. It's enough pace. Isaacs, they're speeding up. Matoni, he's going to come up short. 700 meters, and he's out the back. So we're down to 4. Down to 4. Out of 47. Not bad ratio on that part. Out of 40 now. Just barely. Just barely. So recovery begins positionally. Let everybody ride. Well, Arab needs as much support as possible. Hanoke. For now, support. Once these guys get up here, we'll switch that out. Isaacs, there we go. Isaacs, take over. And Ashimwe will protect Hanoke. 2 leaders for the day. Everybody well into the rapid territory. Effort level does not matter on a descent. If all that is required is a 25, that's all they'll give. Even though we're set to 80. This does not mean we're giving 80 effort. And it's the heart rate that matters on the recovery piece. Below 140, you're great. 130, you're not recovering as much as you could on lower heart rate, but you're still recovering. Now we're back because we're at the bottom. But we were 120 and below. You're going to improve as rapidly as you can improve during that stretch. So even though we're set to an 80, we're not riding at an 80. And I know most of you get that. Most of you totally understand that. There is an element that do not get that watch these videos and give me grief over it. So the Breakaway had 23 riders and had issues. Let's go ahead and address that one as we hit climb number 2. Definitely a shorter climb, 6.7k only, but it's a little steeper. But not by much, because the reality of the first climb was the first quarter of it was more gradual. The rest of it was as steep as this climb is. This climb is that 3/4, but actually less. It's really maybe 2/3, maybe half of what that chunk of that climb was. So it's not going to be as intense. But our start point is, well, smaller group and more tired. They'll get a longer recovery towards the final climb, but this could see us lose Isaacs and Shimway and be down to 2 guys for the final climb, and see this group be down to 20 riders, 25 riders. But we swallow up some of the Breakaway. Let's go back and talk about the Breakaway a little bit more, as that group's going to go straight out the back. But ahead of us, Car. Ahead of us, 5 more riders here off the back, including Carapaz. This, though, is the worrying one, because there's Delorme, who's 17th overall. He's not the one I'm worried about, though. It's not Moss at 22nd. It's not Gall at 33rd, who's about to get dropped and has been dropped now from that group. It's up here that I'm worried about. And this was the key to this one. Now, we've pulled back a minute on these guys, and instead of 23 riders, we're now looking at 4 riders off the front. But it's not Vauquelin, it's not Ortega, and it's not Berthet. It's Tullet. It's Mr. KOM, who is still dominating a group with his closest contenders around. He's only a 76 base mountain, but that's an 80 when you put it here. And clearly this guy is still on a fitness peak, because he is not going out the back. Normally by this point, when you're down to the last couple of mountain stages, the KOM leader, especially if they've had the jersey a long time, they're toast. He's not. He just won a stage. He's been dominating the Breakaway for days, and he's still dominating the Breakaway. Here he is, spending a lot of time leading, working hard, going just fine, and okay, fine, we're pulling back time, but he's 11th, just seconds behind Arab, and we're 3.5 minutes behind him, and he's still going strong. So we really run the risk today of Tullet overtaking us in the GC, and depending on how things go. And Isaacs drops out of this thing awfully early, and Ashimway's already gone. Isaacs is back in contact for right now, but he's really not. There's Ashimway just behind him, so we're losing both of them. Gil, Storer, Aragave, 19th overall, is getting dropped, and we're down to 35. Hanouk needs to... No. Nothing. Hanouk needs to still be there to support Arab on the next climb, so we are waiting a little bit more now. 700 meters. Now go ahead and protect Arab. Down to 33, but we did just pull in another couple Breakaway riders that have not gone out the back yet, I believe. So there's about 30 left in the peloton, and we only have 2 of them. If it was down to 20, I'd feel a lot better. We do drop 4 more out the back. So now at 29. Are we okay on water? Not really, and we've got a long climb left to go. So Hanouk. This is the kind of descent where recovery is much better. Much better. Hanouk has the water. He's at the back. Hindley just hanging on, but he's only 26th. There's Leknasund at 5th, right at the back of the group. Just recovering. Is he struggling today? That'd be nice if he does, but in 5th place, I think he might be a little too far ahead of us, unless he gets dropped very early in the climb and loses, 4 or 5 minutes. Arab almost completely recovered. Hanouk. He's getting a little more recovery here before we begin the ascent. And it's back out to 4.5 minutes. And I would imagine we're still talking about, say, front 4, most likely. Down to 3. And look who's riding at the front and doing all the work. And looking strong. So it's down to 3 at least. Okay, is an 80 going to hold us for the time being? 15k still to go. It's a 16.1k climb, 8.7. There is no respite. There's a very short juncture near the halfway point that flattens out for a moment. A couple 100 meters is all. So Henoke. Let's go ahead and gel. Arab. He is blinking red, but he's only lost half a bike length, so I'm okay with him. Tollett attacks the front three. And again, he's 4.5 minutes ahead. Let's go ahead and keep an eye on that one for a moment. He has not dropped him. He's wasting energy. They're attacking each other. This is fantastic. They're aiming for the stage. They've still got 12K to go. Tollett doing all the work means he's going to run out of juice. And us sitting on is, or we're going to get a good chance. That's still not us, though. That's still, there we go. There's the peloton catching another breakaway rider. Little acceleration there. Take a look at the three guys that are trying to attack here. Lenny Martinez, 10th place. Vingegaard, 4th place. And Pogacar in 2nd. So now we have 2 danger ones up the road ahead of us without a particularly strong chase. But Arab is already down on energy quite a bit from the base of this climb. And we are only just not even approaching halfway yet. Dropping to a 79. We just caught another group, and we've gotten acceleration by some riders, and seeing some guys get squeezed on the edge of the road, including Arab. We will reassess here. The group has definitely dropped riders. We've caught, 4 breakaway riders, and we were at 33, so here's that little flat section, and essentially we're coming up on that halfway mark now. Henoke is getting dropped. Arab is on the verge of getting dropped here. We need to stay in that group. There we go, and have. Now we can sit back up a little bit and gel up. He's not going to make it all the way to the top. This 26 is about to thin out. Okay, we have a front 5 away. We're also just a minute 15 down now. So we have, we've caught Tollett. We have caught Tollett, so his 3.5 minutes are gone. Let's see what's going on with this front 7. Arn's been 12th overall, and only 50 seconds behind us is up the road. And then Pogacar and Martinez, who's also behind us. So that part's not looking good, and that's the last breakaway guy. So 2 of the 6 that are up the road ahead of us are threats behind us in the GC, but look how low Arab is on energy. He's got no ability to go somewhere. We dropped a couple more riders. Breakaway guys. Pidcock is ahead of us in the standings, so that's 1. And then those breakaway guys that were caught. Chabrooks gets dropped, but he's 24th. And Arab, this is his last ounce of energy, and there's still 5K to go. Final breakaway man, Berthet, has been caught and dropped. It looks like Evenepoel has left the group behind. He's half a minute up the road. And Arab got ditched by the group. Arab is out the back. 4K to go. 4K is a long way to go. Can we get the heart rate down? Can handle this 57 pace just barely. We've got a group just behind me. Hopefully they don't catch me. That's Vlasov in 15th. There's Tollett 11th, so leaving them behind is definitely important. Yes, we can. So that's Gegenhardt. Roland, who is 13th, but he's multiple minutes behind and not that big of a gap. Leknesund, that's the final kilometer. Petrovic, Bermudez up here. Pogacar is struggling. Evenepoel's been caught. Lenny Martinez, who's 2 seconds behind me, is going to definitely move ahead of me and looks like he's going to win the stage. He is. It's Evenepoel and Almeida behind him with a 1-2-3. Brambilla, who is 6th. There's Vingegaard, Pogacar. Arn's been coming through, gaining even more time on us. Wow, we're only at 50 seconds right now, though. comes Bermudez, who is 14th. There's Petrovic flying, Leknasund, and I have been caught by this group, unfortunately. Arab, give me that last little couple seconds. 3.5 minutes down. Boy, that time added up fast. Losing 3.5 minutes definitely hurt, especially when it was a minute to the very next group. It was a minute and a half to kind of those remnants. 7 riders gained anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 minutes on us. That one hurt. And there really was not much else we could do with Arab. We conserved as much energy as we possibly could. We supported him all the way through. We certainly did not bother with attacks. We rode on the offensive for 50 meters and did not do so hard. We just ensured we stayed with the primary group and didn't get left behind much sooner, which would have seen us, with these guys 4 or 5 minutes behind. Arab is out of the top 10. He's down to 11th with Martinez and Aronsman moving up. 2 guys we saw do exactly that. Pidcock dropped further. He's only 7 seconds ahead of us now and in play to get us back into the top 10. Tullet, though, we don't gain anything on him. He is still 12th overall. He drops 1 position, but he's still just 15 seconds behind us, and he's going in the breakaway next time. Now, Sammy Arab is 11th. Can we put him in the breakaway? Can we get him to hang on? Is he now far enough down to not be considered a threat? However, realistically, what's left to gain? 1 position over Tom Pidcock. I don't see him gaining anything more than that, or maybe we get to Aronsman level. Aronsman, 77 time trial. Pidcock's 67. We can beat him head to head. Tullet, right there with Arab. And we know he's getting good race day condition. Roland at a minute and a half down is too weak, and then it's a massive gap after that. So we're not being beat handily, but obviously a top 10 would be so much better than what we have right now, and it's not going to be easy to achieve. We need to hope that Pidcock is now in bad form, and that's why he struggled today. And with his poor time trialing, that we can hang in there and then beat him on the next stage and not be beat by Ben Tullet, who's looking strong despite everything. He's 20 points ahead in the KOM, so maybe, just maybe, and Delorme is the only one within 15 points otherwise. Maybe they both stay in the peloton in the next one, and their exhaustion levels will see them get dropped. We saw him get dropped here, but even then he didn't lose any ground. He was in a group that was able to regain contact with me, but otherwise that was that. We continue to ride 3rd place in the under 25s. We've been there for a long time. We wore the white jersey for a few days, but that was it. And at 5.5 minutes down of Brambilla and Petrovic are much too strong. They're not going to explode and give up 5.5 minutes in the next stage. Heno, Kashimwe, Matoni, all in the top 10. Samuels continues to have a terrible race at 3.5 hours down. As a team, 3rd, BMB and us within seconds of each other, more than 45 minutes ahead of the next team, and nearly half an hour behind the next team. So we're on an island, just the 2 of us, deserted together, and we'll see if we can maintain a podium spot in the team classification. Well, it is a podium spot in the team classification. There's just no podium for that. 1 team sits atop. There's no podium otherwise. And that's the air quotes there. It's the final mountain stage of this race, even though we're on stage 18. 19 is a sprint, 20 is a time trial, and 21 is the Champs-Élysées. So this is it, besides that head-to-head time trial, which of course right now we have 3 direct competitors positionally to worry about. One who's bad at time trialing, one who spent a lot of time in breakaways, should be exhausted, but continues to look strong and is a couple points base, plus the plus 4 bonus that he gets in Tullet. But the good news today is I tried to put Arab in the breakaway. It didn't work, but actually it kind of has, because that breakaway The rest of them fought on, where I sat up, realized it was futile, and you could see how Johannes Dalek is blowing up. You could see how Tullet has continued to work hard to try to keep it away, and we're right at the base of the climb, and he's going to be pretty well exhausted. And you can see that my guys aren't doing great. That Breakaway is going to be doing a whole lot worse. So as we go up the Tourmalet, 13.8k, 8% difficult climb, I could see that entire group of 6 being out the back halfway up the climb, and see Tullet lose a ton of time today, and eliminating him and putting us in a position where it's just us and Pidcock, who's not good at time trialing for that competition, for that 10th position. Could we see Arnsman also in trouble today? Be nice. Would be nice. LaFay, Preston, both going backwards. Now we're down to Hader, Delorme, Rue, and Tullet. Now, of course, for Tullet, he's going to be thinking. He's clearly thinking about the KOM, right? The way he continually is riding, he's not thinking about the fact that he is sitting in 12th position. I think it would be different if he was the one flipped with Pidcock and he was in 10th. He might change his mind about that jersey, but the reason why they're still in the break today is there's 20 points at the top of the Tourmalet. There's another 20 points at the final climb. There's 40 points there. So he's not secure in that, and that's why the both of them continue to bury themselves right now, along with Rue, who's a 78. Delorme's a better climber. He's an 81, but Tullet has clearly had the form. Delorme is also 16th overall, so they're both a threat, but at just 37 seconds, it's not much of an advantage. For now, I don't need to put any pressure on what's going on with them. Tullet doing the work to stay ahead. It's only 37 seconds. 8.5k to go, and we're not pushing hard. This is good. They are. They're doing the work. 101 left in the peloton, so there has been a push. As we see an attack from Pidcock. From Pidcock. Okay. We're going to put foot down with probably Samuels. Which means we need to have somebody else protect. Rue gets dropped. 5k to the top. Tullet has been dropped. Okay, we're going to continue to watch Tullet here for a little bit, and Samuel's doing the work. He's on an 84. It is causing some of his teammates to hurt a little bit, but Samuels has another -2. We're down to 89. Tullet's not done yet, but Pidcock is a minute ahead. Cannot be allowed to ride off into the sunset to win the stage and gain 2-3 minutes. Tullet straight out the back, and there's still 3k on the climb. Yes. All right. We'll keep this pressure on then, as we are still chasing Pidcock. Continues to look strong. He's a minute ahead. He's got a minute to go. 82 with the base bonus. Looking a lot better than he looked yesterday. Samuel's running out of energy, but we're not dropping teammates, but we're down to 63. This is a pretty ideal scenario for us. Samuel's might get dropped, might not. So we lost Matoni and Mohira. Samuels, there we go. We set up. We let 21 riders out. So who's here? Anybody in this group that's a threat? O'Connor 17th. Moss 18th. Hollis is 20th. This is more about support for other teams. We do not need Samuels up there, so Samuels will not work to close that gap. Down to 36. So 27k to go. Gosh. Okay, Arab does not have protection. Let's fix that. And let's have Benuna get water. Arab already fully recovered and looking really strong for now. Okay, we had some riders split off. No, those guys made it back up there. Done. Okay, and we're climbing. 12.6k left. It was overall a 13.5k climb, 7.4%. And there is Pidcock, 1 minute ahead and in trouble. He's solo for 13k with a small advantage. Arab seems to be okay with an 81. These guys do not seem okay with an 81. Heart rate's already high, even though we're only a K into the climb. So it's going to do damage relatively quick, which means the support guys need to gel up early. And we need to make sure that these guys stay in contact with Arab. .56 still here. 30 seconds to Pidcock. 8.7k to go. Samuels is gone. He's out the back. He and Van Gils are the only ones that have been dropped so far. Shimway is struggling. We're going to gel up now. He's at the back, and that's not where we want him, or Hanoak for that matter. So gel up for both of them. We want to support Arab, and Isaacs is the only one in position to do so. Shimway. He's going to be on his own. These guys are at the back. But speaking of these guys at the back, they need to try to hang on and not get dropped. Okay, Pidcock's been caught. We're looking at 51 and 5.5k. Arab is essentially solo, and we're going to gel at about 4.5. Looks like there's going to be enough firepower for some guys to try to attack here late. At least we still have Isaacs. And 8 riders. 8. I saw one. I only saw one of them. Vingegaard. That's the entire top 8. That's the entire top 8. But there's a chase. And Arab only has limited firepower. I think he's better off letting those 8 go and then making a move, especially once Isaacs is done here. But we need to up the effort to improve the position. 1.8k. Isaacs is done. 1k. Arab. Can we improve our position here? Can we get behind, like, say... Alright, any good news? Because that was a lot of not good news. Well, all the guys behind us. Like, Tullet's long gone. Losing a ton of time. The 8 guys ahead of us, we were too far behind anyway. There's Pidcock. And there's Petrovic. So we do still have a little bit of a chance here. That's Vingegaard getting dropped, and his guy's trying to pick him up. Pogacar takes the win ahead of Evenepoel. Martinez Brambilla. Oh, 200 meters. Gosh. Well, that's shouldn't be time loss. If it is, we might lose a few seconds to Pidcock. But we're in position to be able to beat Pidcock on the next stage. That's a big plus for us. Isaacs, you're 71st overall, but it's the last climb you've got And Noak will make a last push for him to try to gain a few seconds. He's 24th overall, but he's definitely not 24th on the stage, but he's 33rd. Shimway is also coming in close. He's 30th overall, so they both lose a little bit of time today to some guys, but Arab got another 15th. That's where we're at, folks. That's not really where we're at. When you add in that +4, we are well outside of the top 25, even with Arab. There are more than 25 guys that are better climbers than him in this field. More than. So, I think we've still got a real good shot at a top 10 because the guys who did right away were the ones that are already ahead of us. So I did lose 9 seconds to Pidcock, and I might have been able to prevent that, but I think the 9 seconds are virtually nothing here. Under the circumstances, what we are really looking at is the fact that he's a bad time trialist, and we are very much within 15 seconds of him, and the length of the time trial, 15 seconds, is going to be very, very easy to overcome. So ultimately, we didn't lose anything. I think we might have been able to prevent that 9 seconds, but that 9 seconds is very secondary to the overall of who are my two direct competitors. Tullett was the threat because he's a good time trialist. He absolutely blew up and lost a lot of time. Tullett, might have missed him, but I have not seen him in the top 50. There he is, 53rd, 10:59 down. 9 minutes. We just put 9 minutes into Tullett. He drops way down the standings, and that's fantastic because now it's Tullett's eliminated, and now we're in a direct head-to-head with Tom Pidcock. Fine. He's 15 seconds ahead of us. He's a terrible time trialist. 20 seconds ahead of us. He's a terrible time trialist. We'll get that. We'll easily get that. Arab's still expected to have a +3 daily, +4 daily. He'll get a, +3, 4, 5 territory. He should easily beat Pidcock by multiple minutes, meaning top 10 is very, very possible now, and we lost mere seconds. And, the minute and a half we lost was to the guys who are already well ahead of us, and we're not threatened by that. We remain 11th. Arnsman is 1 second ahead of us, and, okay, we've got a battle with him. Pidcock, because we gained time on Arnsman today, Pidcock, 16 seconds. 16 seconds. Easy to overcome. 9th could be in the cards, or 10th. Top 10, back at the beginning I said was realistically all we could really aim for, and it just shows how deep the quality of this field is. Next year, Tour de France is not the GC you target. Next year, you target the Giro, you target La Vuelta, and go for King of the Mountains. We did get 2 stage wins here, so we have had a successful race. I think to remain successful, we've got to crack that top 10, but with just seconds in it and 4 minutes to anybody behind us, and Roland is not a good time trialist either, so there's no threat behind, and we are very much threatening the 2 guys ahead of us, or at least one of them. And so yeah, it looks pretty likely. Petrovic, not a great time trialist, but a pretty big gap in the 9 seconds. Certainly wouldn't make any difference on that one. So he's going to be difficult to overcome, but tiny chance that you can get that one. Evenepoel leads from Pogacar and Almeida. Then a healthy gap to Brambilla and Vingegaard. Vingegaard struggled on that stage, drops a spot to 5th. Martinez, a little bit, not really. He and Leknesund right there in 6th and 7th, they actually swapped and they're close together. So there are still some positions to battle out, but it feels like your top 3 are pretty clear. I mean, Evenepoel's an 84 time trialist. He's likely to win the stage. Pogacar's an 81 and Almeida's a 78. So pretty clear that they'll keep those gappings. Brambilla is not good enough to challenge either. Vingegaard could move back ahead of Brambilla if he has a good day. Martinez is going to drop. Leknesund should move ahead of him. Petrovic is definitely not challenging anyone ahead. Could be going backwards. Pidcock's not challenging anyone ahead, so it's us and Arnsman to try to move up, and it's going to take a really good day. If we go to +5, maybe, just maybe, they're on stage 20, we could do something. The points, well, there's still 2 sprint stages to go, and Girmay has a slender lead. Tullet keeps his KOM, and it's not going to be challenged now. There's not enough points to get within there. Evenipol jumps to second, though. Young under 25s, gap gets bigger, as Brambilla was one of those front guys, but we are very comfortably in that third. And did we keep third as a team? We did. We are just over a minute ahead of BMB, so we've got a little bit of a battle there. That's the other thing to watch out for in that final stage. But back on the GC, Hendok keeps 24th. There's guys within reach one way or another, and there are some points in that, so maybe, just maybe, he can move up. But he's a 66 time trialist, so not likely. And Ashimwe is 31st, 72 time trialist. He could absolutely move up one spot, but I don't see him moving up more. So really it's down to just Arab and the team ranking. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.